Hi, thank you guys. I'm Namkishore Swami, and today we would be learning about grabbing the HTML table data from an Internet Explorer. So let's get started. Open your OpenSpan or Pega Robotics Studio. Go to File, New, and a Project. Create an empty project. Give a meaningful name. IE_automation. And the website that we will be using is here, that is html.com and /tables. Copy the URL. So right click on your project and add the web application adapter. So IE table. Or you can give a meaningful name as per your requirements. Click on add. Select your IE adapter. Go to the start page property. And enter your URL. Now click on start interrogation. So our main objective is to grab the data that we can see in it. So once it will launch the Internet Explorer and open the required URL. Just locate the table that you want to grab the information from. Here we can see there is a table. So change from default to HTML table designer and drag and drop on the table. So once you drop, it will open up the HTML table designer window. So in the table, you can see all the cells. So there are two types of cells. One is header cell and the other one are the information cells. So select your header cell. Once you select and choose right click. In the right click, you can see three options are highlighted. One is define match cell, define data cell, define table section. So these are the header cells. Header cell would be always remain same, or the name or the information in header cell would always be same. So it will always spell as name and the favorite. So that should be defined as a match rule. So when OpenSpan or Pega Robotics is going to identify this table, so it's going to look for these header or the table with the name that header says name and favorite. So fix it as a defined match rule. And now select the table section or the other cell. That information is not fixed and it's going to vary depending on the situation. So choose all those cells that information is not fixed or constant and right click and define those as a data cell. Or you can also choose as a table section. So I'll explain the difference between these two. So first we're going to choose as a data cell. So here we can see there were two rows and all the data cells are being extracted, and these would be considered as a match rule. Now you can save the changes and close it. And you can go ahead and stop your interrogation. And before you do that, just to make sure all the information or the control are with the green check. And these are the match rules that OpenSpan has applied. And now you can go ahead and stop it. Go back to your project, add an automation. So that would be either you can add a window form and add a button there, and you can use the click or button click event, or you can also use the IE started event. So select your IE, go to event and choose started. So once your IE started, the second thing we need to check is your table created there? So wait for created or create. So once your table is available or created, we need to retrieve the information. So the information could be retrieved in two different forms. One, if you know the number of cells in that table would remain always same, and you just need the information from a fixed cell, say for example cell 1. In that case, you can just directly choose the cell those created here. So if you need to always retrieve the information from cell 1, then you can just get the text from the cell. And how this information going to display there? Go to the tool and choose the message dialog to display the information. Now go back to your Object Explorer and choose the cell. Go to the property, text is, and look for the text. So once that text is available, we will show that in the message box. Now go ahead and save your project and run it. So now you can see the application has been launched. And it has navigated to the required URL. And once the navigation is completed, it has pulled the information from cell 1. And you can go to the table and you can just compare it. It says Bob, and here we can see the information that says Bob. So this was the one case when if you know which cell's information you need. And the another case, if the table would contain or the information in the cell would vary. Say for example, in one case it can give you the 10 cells, and in the another case it can have like 20 or multiple rows. I mean, there is no defined number of rows there. So in that case, you can choose the second option, wherein you can just define this table only and select all sets and just choose to define it as a table section. In that case, you will see only DOM table here. You won't see the cell controls. Since we don't know how many rows were there, so rows would be created dynamically. So we need to loop through each row. So to loop through each row, you would require a for loop. So go again back to your tools, look for the for loop. So this for loop is going to loop through each row. Now we also need to loop through or get information from each cell in each row. So we need another for loop that will loop through each cell in a row. So first for loop will loop through each row in the table. Second for loop to loop through each cell in a row. So let's add the process to start the loop once table control is created. And for each result or for each yield, you need to start the another for loop. And for each yield, you need to show the message box. And message box would be value. So value of this tables of one particular cell. And to get that cell's information or the text, you need to select the table, go to the methods, and choose get cell value. So to get a cell value, you need to supply the row number and the column number. And result we would like to display in a message box. Alright. So the row number would be coming from first for loop, and the column number would be coming from second for loop. So start index is, we're going to keep it as 0, and the end index or the limit, that would be depending upon how many rows are there in the table. So go back and select your table, check the rows, and we would need the count of these rows. So you can go back and click on this explore component property and go back to choose your rows. And now look for the count. Count is a property. So we cannot see the property here. In that case, you can click on the configure type and look for the property count. Here we go. Click on OK. So we would need the row count. Here we go. Now go back and click back to the explore component. So now we have start limit, that would be 0, increment as 1, and the end limit that we can reset to the row count in the table. Now the index value will be our row. Here we go. And now the cells, there are only 2 cells. So it's going to start with the 0, and we can have it as the limit to 1. So 0 and 1, there are 2 cells. And increment is 1. And the index value would be column value. So now you can see once your Internet Explorer is created or started. Once it is started, we're going to check for the table value. If table is created, then we're going to loop through all the rows available in the table. So to loop through, we need to know how many rows are there. To get the row, we will click on the table, go to explore the properties, and then choose row and rows property as a count. But in that case, we will have the row number. Similarly, you can add another for loop to get the number. So to run the application or to run your automation project, you can go ahead and click on the play button or press F5. So let's click on the play button there. Now you can see the build has been started. And now you can locate your table there on the website and match the information. Here we go with the first column, that says me. Click on OK. Second column is favorite color. Third, Bob. Yellow. Michelle is purple. So there were two ways you can pull the information. One, if you know the number of column or number of row in the table is always fixed, then you can go with the first method, wherein you can define all the cells. And if you don't know how many rows were there or rows are dynamically creating, like it's going to increase depending on the situation, in that case you can define it as a table section, and in the table section you can add two loops to grab the information from each cell. So that's it for today's tutorial. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in next video. Bye.